Today's news. Journalists face police pressure in front of Nizami District Court. Nemet Panali's hearing scheduled for June 10th. Need for legislation to recognise status of national heroes. Family demand justice for murdered son. The Nizami District Court was due to hold a hearing today on their June 15th decision on a lawsuit against Yeni Musavat newspaper. However, the hearing collapsed after the newspaper's lawyer objected to the composition of judicial staff. Lawyer Vagif Hussain told Objective TV that the reason for the objection was Judge Zia Aliyev's demonstrated bias, as experienced during the hearings held so far. Employees of IRFS and Turan News Agency were harassed by court security while they were trying to film in front of the court building. One of the security guards was physically intimidating towards IRFS employee Rasim Aliyev and attempted to seize his camera. He insulted the journalist and called the police to the scene, asking them to arrest him. The police employees arrived and dismissed journalists Fagana Novruzova, Rasim Aliyev and Adalat Akhmedov from the area. The uncle of President Ilham Aliyev, MP Jalal Aliyev, sued Yeni Musavat newspaper after an article published in January 2010. Owner of the hotel which disappointed the president is found. Baku Hotel is owned by Jalal Aliyev. On June 15, 2010, Nizami District Court partially grounded the lawsuit, ruling that the newspaper should officially refute the content of the article and pay 1,500 AZN in compensation, much less than the 50,000 AZN that Aliyev had requested.
Sen özetleşme de. Adın nədir sənin? Özetleşme. Adın nədir sənin? Adım Rasim'dir. Rasim. Nədir? Şirin.
Today, the Nazimi District Court heard the case of Azerbaijan National Statehood Party leader Nemet Panali and his friend Ceyhun Fazulayev. Judge Elman Akhmedov presided over the trial. The trial began with a speech by Fazulayev's lawyer Elchin Aliyev, after which Samir Isayev, Panali's lawyer, spoke. He requested that he be allowed to continue his speech at the next hearing, which was scheduled by the judge for June 10th at 10:30 a.m. After the hearing, lawyer Elchin Aliyev told Objective TV that the hearing had discussed the circumstances of the case and seen important evidence. Panali's lawyer reported that evidence from the plaintiff's side had not yet been seen. Such evidence will not be sufficient to incriminate Panali and Fazulayev to criminal liability, he said. The court should rule for their innocence. Nemet Panali, the chairman of the Azerbaijan National Statehood Party, was arrested under charges brought by citizen Eldar Razayev. A criminal case has been brought against both men under Article 221.3 of the Criminal Code, hooliganism committed with a weapon. The backstory to the case has to do with a car that Panali sold to Razayev. If he is found guilty, Panali could face 5 years in prison. Today, the Social Securities of Families and National Heroes Public Union conducted a press conference to discuss improving the social protection for families of national heroes. The head of the public union, Galiba Buragova, said that several of the problems faced by the families of these military heroes have been resolved. However, the issue of providing housing, medical insurance, and permission to build their own housing remain unsolved. Buragova believes that the adoption of a law on the status of national hero would resolve these problems. Military hero Eldar Agiev said that currently this status is only symbolic. He called upon the government to respect this status. According to him, there are 221 military heroes in Azerbaijan, 18 of whom are still alive. Is it really so difficult to help those families, he asked? Those attending the event were unhappy that not all military heroes have been commemorated with a monument, and that these monuments that have been erected are often hidden by construction work. Agiev said that the war in Karabakh is continuing, and that there will be more military heroes, and so this legislation is necessary. Ravshan Bayramov and his wife Yaseman Bayramova from Nakhchivan held a press conference at IRFS to protest against the decision issued on the murder of their son. The grieving parents have complained that the case did not receive a fair trial and that the true perpetrator has not been arrested. It is now nearly a year since the August 2010 killing. When their son Mamadov intervened in a dispute between his friends, he became a victim of betrayal. Mamadov's parents allege that the murder was committed by Orkhan Aliyev, aided by Rasul Nadarov and his brother-in-law Rahib Guliev. none of whom, they say, have been properly brought to justice. According to the parents, Orkhan Aliyev was sentenced to prison under charges of drug possession. He has been held by the Nakhchivan Police Department for 8 months. After that, he was set free with the support of his relatives working in the presidential administration. Rasul Nadarov assumed all responsibility for the murder and he was sentenced to 9 years in jail. The Bayramovs said that they have faced pressures because of their complaints to governmental bodies and to the president. They allege that Nakhchivan city prosecutor Rahim Nemetov and his colleague Rashad Babiev have pledged to cover up the incident. Mamedov's parents are calling upon law enforcement bodies and the president to bring their son's killers to justice.